Things you may not expect when you're teaching on Cambly. Hi there, my name is Linda. My students call me teacher, or sometimes they call me Linda. And I'm here to help you understand, or at least be aware that there are certain things that could happen on Cambly that you don't expect. And I'm going to offer you some solutions as well. So the first thing is that you need to know that students come from all parts of the world, right? I've had students from Brazil, I've had students from India, I've had students from Saudi Arabia, and I never know who I'm going to meet. Now, I used to check the profile and it tell me what country, but I don't always do that, and sometimes the profile isn't completed properly. So I expect to have people from different parts of the world in front of me. But also, the other thing is about these individuals is that some of them are professionals, some of them are housewives, some of them are students that are studying. So I've had doctors, I've had psychologists that wanted to learn English. Now, you don't know that unless you ask. So ask, especially if it's the first time you meet the student, ask, tell you a little bit about who they are. I always start that. Tell me a little bit about who you are. Or sometimes I'll just say, so are you a student or do you work? Start with those types of questions. You may not also know that a lot of people don't have their cameras on for whatever reason. So you might be staring at a black screen. That's happened to me quite a few times, that I don't see who's in front of me, and I have to ask questions. I have to say, hello, my name is Linda. I live in Canada. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me where you're from? And they tell me where they're from. Sometimes I can tell by the voice if it's a child or an adult, but not always, not always. So you can expect that not everyone feels comfortable, or maybe their cameras don't work, but mostly it's because they're not comfortable with having their cameras on. You need to get used to that. And you might say, can you put your camera on? I've never done that. I've simply accepted the fact that they weren't comfortable putting their cameras on. So I've accepted it, and I had to really start paying attention more to what I was hearing. So be aware of that it could happen. It could happen. You might also notice that there are some students, and it doesn't happen often, but there are some students, mostly males, that are in their cars. Sometimes they're even driving when they're talking to me. Now, I have to say that at first, that was a bit of a shock because I wasn't expecting that, right? I'm not expecting somebody to be in their car. And I said, is it safe for you to drive? Would you consider parking your car? So during these types of conversations, that's what I've said. Is it safe for you to drive? Only because I'm being honest and not sure how safe it is. Would it be better if you pulled over? Sometimes I've said that too. Some of them have told me, yes, it's fine, or I'll just pull over. Now, during these types of calls, when they're driving, it's conversation. I'm choosing to have a conversation with them as opposed to sharing a lesson or sharing my screen, because then I know for sure that their attention would be drawn to the screen, and I don't feel comfortable with that. So I'll ask more questions. We'll engage in a lively conversation, unless their car is parked. And most of the time, when they park their cars, it's still just to have a conversation. I've learned that through experience. A lot of them don't want to have a lesson when they're in their car. A lesson meaning a more formal lesson where they're pulling up a lesson or a reading on a screen share, for example. So you want to keep that in mind. Maybe you're expecting a certain client or a certain student because you saw the name and you went, okay, I know who I'm meeting. You read your previous notes, but you end up by getting somebody else. And that happens. Doesn't happen very often, but it happens. And I've learned that students sometimes will share accounts. Now they may share an account with the husband or their wife, or maybe share it with a child. So don't be surprised if you're expecting somebody and you get somebody else. The other example I could share with you is I never know if I'm going to have an adult or a child. Now I expect adults because I've been working with adults, but in the past, I've been surprised where it's a child in front of me, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting to talk with a child. So I've learned that I need to expect that it could possibly happen. And I'm just going to show you what I've decided to do. So when I have a child in front of me, it's taken me some time to think about this, but the first time I had a child in front of me, I had to really use my imagination. I'm a teacher by trade. I have taught primary school, but most of the time I've taught college. I don't have a lot of experience, but I know kids love stories, and I know kids love singing, and I know that a lot of them know the ABC song. So I will, talk about the alphabet. I'll talk about the days of the week. I'll get them to count with me. And then over time, what I decided to do was purchase cards. I told myself I'm not going to start getting puppets. Oh, I could. But I purchased cards, and I'll just show you the box. This is just really, really simple. But I want to keep it simple. And I'm just going to share a few examples here. I'll show them, get them to talk about the word. And what I'll do is I'll choose a few, like here's an example. I'll choose a few and I'll have them come up with a story using these words. And I'll just randomly choose some cards that make sense, not too complicated, where they can create a little story, right? So if you're getting a child and you're not expecting it, then things, days of the week, colors, and if you have objects around you, what is this? This is a cup. Use your imagination. And then if you think you're going to get more children, just start getting cards. Or if you want to work with children, of course, that's a different story. Then you could sign up for the Cambly kids and they have lessons already prepared. All right, one more thing is another thing you might not expect is a student to tell you exactly how they want to be taught. And that happened once because normally when I meet a student, it's for conversation. We engage in conversations and they're okay with my style. But that one particular time, he said, I want to read this, and this is what I want you to do, and this is what I'll do. And the person was very prescriptive and told me exactly what he wanted and how he wanted it. And I did it, but I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't block him or anything like that. I did it, but I found it a little bit frustrating. I went with it anyways, and then I just made sure that we didn't meet after that. Right? Because I want to be comfortable with my students. I want to be natural with them as much as possible. So you'll know if you're comfortable with a certain approach, and if you're not comfortable with a certain approach, you could just send a little message to the student saying, you know what, it was really nice meeting you, but I think it would be better for you to meet with another tutor, something like that. Because I didn't want to continue doing that. I found it more frustrating than anything else. I wasn't expecting that, right? The other thing too is you could possibly get a message from a student even before you meet them. So there's a message board, and I want to show you where that is. I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you. I'm on Cambly, and here, right here, is the message board, messaging system. So when I open that, you can see my students and the messages that we've shared. So sometimes what could happen is that you get a message either through this system here or through another system. When they book a class with me, they can also write a message. But they can send you a message, and in the message, it might say something like, I'd like to read this, or, you know, I'm from this country, I'm really looking forward to the class, I want to practice this and this. So it's possible that you get a message prior to the class to give you a heads up. So you want to keep that in mind as well. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And there's just one more thing that I want to tell you, is that expect to have fun. Expect to have fun, right? You know, these students want to learn. Some of them are more serious than others. You know, I've read or I've listened to a student read biology, for example, because that's what they want to practice. They want to practice reading. And then you've got mothers, housewives, who just want to talk, to practice talking. So you want to be yourself, and you want to be fun as much as possible. You want to be fun. So expect to have fun as well. So if you decide to sign up for camp, use my referral link. You'll find it below in the comment section. And of course, when you decide to sign up for Cambly, you'll be given 20 minutes. And I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to meet up with you. You can use those 20 minutes to, I don't know why I did that, but you can use the 20 minutes to chat with the tutor. So look me up, Teacher Linda GR. I think that's my name on campus. Let me double check that. Yes, it is. No, it's just Linda GR. Linda GR. But look me up. It'd be great to talk with you. Talk to you soon. Have yourself a great day. Bye now.